Rahayu, Rahayu, Rahayu. Rahayu, everyone. Rahayu Guruji.
Yeah.
First of all, Guruji, I would like to explain to our friend who is watching. Rahayu is the word that we use to greet others or people in Indonesian. So, Rahayu friends, if you are watching Evening Talk with Guruji Anand Krishna. Thank you, Guruji, for appearing with us, for spending your time with us.
Before you go any further, please, friends who have not subscribed to this channel, do subscribe because we are always talking about the culture, history, civilization. So if you're interested in subjects like that, also on health, self-development, so many subjects we talk about, even including the impact of AI on our lives now. So if you would like to subscribe, please do so, and then also click the bell for notification.
That's right. Okay, Guruji. Today we are going to share our experience to about visiting a very historical and also unique, I would like to say, that is My Son Temple. It is located in Vietnam. So if you friends haven't visited, maybe you can refer to our video. So first of all, I would like to say thank you, Guruji, for taking me, especially there, because it was a huge complex with temples, and also there are statues of Hindu deities. But before that, I would like to ask you, how do you feel when you visited My Son Temple, Guruji?
The lack of sacredness, and this happens to many of such temples all over the world, where people have forgotten the purpose of the temple, and it has been reduced to a touristic place. Lots of tourists come, people are happy, people are getting money, the souvenir shops are doing good, But the very purpose the temple was built as a sacred space where once you enter the complex, you feel that there is a sacredness all around you. That is missing.
How do you define sacredness, Guruji? Because maybe our friends or most of us cannot differentiate, or maybe we never feel that kind of, the feeling that you are describing right now.
Yeah, once you are in that place, in that space, you feel uplifted, you feel energized, and beside that, you feel there is a rise in your consciousness. You are no more gossiping or chit-chatting or talking about something else, but you are focused on the purpose for which the temple has been built, and this was missing.
Mm-hmm.
So it has become a touristic place, and then people come and enjoy it. But as I said earlier, the very purpose the temple was built, that is forgotten.
Okay, so I would like to say also, Guruji, because I do some readings about this My Son Temple, and most of the sources say that it was long abandoned, and the forest even consumed the temple. It was covered by so many trees and plants. It started to grow between the stones, because the temple was just made up of stuck of stones. So maybe that's also one of the reason, Guruji, that sacredness is gone, because it was long time abandoned.
Yeah, see, if you look back at the history is fragmented. And the history that we have now is based on what was written by the foreigners. those who wanted to rule this place, and they had to create divisions. So, for instance, the division between Khmer and the Cham peoples, the Champa, this division is man-made, this crazy division, because Khmer means red-skinned. And you find those red-skinned people all over this place. In Vietnam, there's been a lot of influence of Chinese, and there have been mixed marriages, so they are not that tradition anymore. But Laos, Cambodia, all these are Khmer. So then these people came and they rewrote the history to create divisions, For instance, Laos, Vietnam, they're all one family. And there was a family feud. Because of that, the temple was abandoned. There was a fight going on during those days over 1,000 years ago along the border between Laos and Vietnam. Now it's considered a border, but right then it was not a clear border, So then the temple was abandoned. This is what I'm trying to say, that once the temple's purpose is forgotten, then the sacredness is not there. It just becomes a monument, like I keep complaining, but nobody's listening. That when Suharto in our country, Suharto, the second president of our country, when he built the monument, beautiful monument of Krishna as a Parthasarthi, as a charioteer for Arjuna, he called it Arjuna Vijaya, Monument Arjuna Vijaya. And now they started calling it Monument Kuda, Patung Kuda, And I keep telling, look, this is history. Suharto just built that place about 70 years ago. I don't know, not even 70 years ago. Not even 70, it was in 1980s, I think, 80s or early 90s, so 30 years. And within 30 years, the purpose of having that pratima, that likeness, that monument is forgotten. From Arjuna Vijaya, it's called Patung Kuda now. And this has happened also in many places. Like I give you an example. In Amritsar, you have heard about Golden Temple, right? How did this name come up? Whoever built this, Guru Arjan Dev, so many gurus were involved in building over the years. Did they call it Golden Temple? Can you imagine? Can the Sikh gurus call it Golden Temple? So who called it? The British, right? And now everybody is calling it Golden Temple. And this temple was built, I think, by the second guru or third guru, I've forgotten the exact dates. He started building this temple. And this temple, until the British invasion, until the British came to India, the temple was called Hari Mandir, the place of worship for Hari, for God the Supreme. It becomes Golden Temple. So, that sacredness that is there in Hari Mandir Sahib, the original Sikhs, they were calling it Hari Mandir Sahib. Very respected term, which cannot even be translated into English. It has become a Golden Temple. And then they create division. Hindus are different, Sikhs are different, Buddhists are different, Jain are different. They all belong to the same root. Similarly, in this country also, there have been created division based on ethnic, based on little bit differences in the language. That differences were amplified so that there can be division among them and the foreigners can rule.
But I think, Guruji, this kind of situation where there are a little bit of differences, but we cannot accept those little differences because it's being amplified, as what you said. It's because it happens everywhere now. And even though, like, between Hindu itself, there are differences between Indian and Balinese kind of Hindu. So it's everywhere, and they cannot find the that actually it's same, but it's just because of our culture. So we just adapt it, like make it more suitable for the area.
What is the essence? When we forget the essence, what is the essence? The victory of dharma over adharma. No? That is symbolized as the victory of Rama over Ravana in India. And they call it Dashera. Here it is called, in Bali it is called Galua. Shraddha ceremony. It is called Shraddha in India. It is called Kuningan here. It is called Nyepi in India. In Bali. It is called Mon Vrat in India. So, just name the difference between the languages have been amplified, as if the Indians, they follow different kind of Hinduism. Here they are following different kind of Hinduism. Forget the very title of Hinduism. I keep saying that this Sanatana Dharma. You go to Java, in Java you find Kajavan. You go to Sunda, you find Sunda Vivitan. You go to Kalimantan, you find Kaharingan. You go to Bali, you find the Balian. All these are same like Sanatana Dharma. There is no difference in the essence. But if you want to rule over something, then you must create division so that people are divided, people are deluded, people are made to believe that you are different. Bali is different, India is different, Laos is different, Vietnam is different, Cambodia is different. Create divisions, make them fragmented, and then rule over them.
So, if the people are acting so rudely about this little difference, which is based on the culture and the situation, does it mean that the people themselves who are practicing Hindu, which they which they call themselves that they practice Hindu, actually they are just practicing it physically, and they just forgotten the essence of it.
Ritualistic. In the Rigvedic language, they are called ritic. They just follow the rituals, but they don't go into tattva bodh, the essence. And because they don't go to the essence, the rituals can be different. My master would always say, the color of the cow is different, the skin is different, but the milk is same. So people who are fighting over the colors of the cow, they have not tasted the milk. They don't know the essence, they don't know the tattva. This is the problem. And this has been the problem everywhere in Southeast Asia. Because we lack knowledge of tattva, the essence, we are divided.
Wow, I think you just have actually, how much is it? How much is the importance of knowing the essence of what you are doing?
True.
It's more than just doing the rituals physically.
I always say that I'm not against ritual. People sometimes they think that I'm against ritual. No, I follow my own rituals also. But spiritual, what is spiritual? The spirit beyond the ritual. I'm not denying the rituals. The rituals can be there. You follow your own rituals according to your tradition, according to your customs, according to your local culture. But understand the spirit behind that ritual.
So is that how you define spiritual?
Yes, the spirit behind those rituals.
Can you give me some example of it?
Like I said, that Galungan and Diwali. Dashera rather, not Deepavali, Dashera. Galungan and and Dashera are almost same. Tattva is same. The victory of dharma over adharma. There is no duality there. Tan hana vineka tungalika tan hana dharma mangrura. There is no duality in tattva and dharma. But the outer shape can be different. Somewhere it is considered the victory of Ravan, of Rama or Ravana. Somewhere else the victory of Mana, of some kingly person over the demons. Same thing.
So basically, we can say that spiritual is all about knowing the tattva, the essence of everything.
True.
So go beyond what is actually appearing in front of your eyes. My son is very much interesting for me in the physical aspect, Guruji, because not only it is located in the middle of the forest, but if we see through the map of my son temple, there are rivers. I don't know if it's one river or maybe few rivers are there, but through the map we can see that it is actually going surrounding or around every complex of the temple, because the temple are divided into some groups, because it's a complex, so it's actually a huge, but because of the time passes away, so there are some ruins that are not able to be revived. Yeah. So how do you does it have any specific significant reason, Guruji?
First of all the temples built here, they were not only temples, they were ashrams. You cannot define, you cannot tell the purpose of a temple, one temple or one big temple, and then around it there are so many buildings. What are those buildings for? They were campuses. People were coming there to learn, to spend time. They were retreat centers, they were ashrams. That's why they built them in the forest, far from the nearest town. And then they have a main temple there, and they have so many places there where people would stay, spend 3 days, spend maybe 3 weeks or 3 nights, or just sometime withdraw from the material life and to refresh and to rejuvenate their energy. This was the reason those temples were so huge. They were retreat centers, they were ashrams. This is the same with Angkor Wat, and this is the same with Prambanan. This is the same everywhere. All the temples were not just for praying, but there were people explaining the tattva there. The priests around there, the gurus around there, they were available all the time, to explain, to answer the questions, the queries of the devotees coming there. But this one is missing now. This one is missing.
Wow, you actually made me realize, Guruji, when you explain, when you say that there were actually people who stayed there and explained to the people who comes to visit what is actually the tattva and all that. Because when we were there, I could feel or I could see that there was no one who actually understand about my son. Even the guides
They don't understand.
there, they just explain about the infrastructure, about the building, but they don't really explain that what was there, who were living here, what was the activity carried on and carried there. And the local people were only there to perform some dances and musical things. which is actually kind of good. Maybe they could preserve that one, but it's actually sad more because no one is able to explain such a beautiful place.
Yeah, this is what is tragic, that the memory is no longer there. We have a collective memory. You have some memories that is coming from your father, even in your DNA. Our DNA, the memories are coming from our father. The energy is coming from the mother, and then he's getting from his father, and so on. Good. There was some kind of interruption, that this memory, collective memory, is gone. It is gone totally. There's a country where my ancestors come from, and they follow a different belief system now. Wholesale, they got converted. Yeah. But now one person belonging to that new belief system comes to their country, and he starts to explain, starts to tell them that, look, you're not following your belief system properly, because you have to do this, 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 this. And now the people of those country are awakening. They say, this man is crazy. Because we already have our own culture, we already have our own civilization. And this man is telling us to follow some other foreign civilization. So there was collective memory still in their minds. This collective memory is no more there here. This is very sad.
Oh, talking about collective memories, Guruji, who is being prayed to or offered to is Shiva. But locally Shiva itself have various different names, but mostly it was called as Badreshwari. Why is it? Is there any reason, Guruji?
First of all, the king was a Shaivite, and his name also was Badreshwar, I think, Badreshwar Varman.
Yeah.
And then he built this temple to glorify Shiva as Badreshwar, as the most auspicious one who gives you all kind of auspiciousness. So there are so many different attributes given to God in Sanatana Dharma, and you can choose any one attribute. There's a total freedom. You can choose any one attribute. You can choose Ganesha, you can choose Shiva, you can choose Vishnu, and then within that categories, you have different attributes again. Shiva has got an attribute like Rudra. When you go for war, then you have to invoke Rudra, the fierce god. And when you are at peace, you have to invoke Badreshwar. So there are different attributes that are there present in there. All these gods and goddesses in Sanatana Dharma, all these attributes are within each and every human being. So when you pray to Shiva, you're not praying to Shiva, you're invoking that attribute of Shiva within you. When you pray to Ganesha, you're invoking that attribute of Ganesha within you, wisdom. When you are praying to Saraswati, you are invoking that aspect of God, of knowledge and arts within you. So these different gods, so many of them, there are 33 types of gods and many, many gods. And all these are attributes actually. All of them are within us. And they are called not gods in Sanskrit, but Deva, the light beings. All these energies of Shiva, Ganesha, Rama, Buddha are within you. Now, with whom you feel more connected, you invoke that. Invoke him or invoke her.
Yes, because sometimes, Guru, it's quite funny. I don't know, but many people used to fight, even amongst the Hindu. because some are devotee of Ganesh, some are just devotee of Krishna or something, and then they feel that their idols are the right one, the others are not. How do you say about this?
Unfortunate, very unfortunate, because they miss the Tattva, they miss the underlying unity. But at the same time, in Sanatana Dharma, you have been given so many different modes of worship. You can worship God thinking that God is very far from you, and you are just a servant, you are just a worshipper. You can never ever become God. That is called a Dvaitvad, dualism. And then you got Vishishtvaitvad, in which people think that, okay, God is high, I am low, but there is a relationship. I can become a lover of God, I can become a son of God, I can become a mother of God, and I can love God as a mother, I can love God as a father. Funny, people who do not understand some dharma, they do not understand this. And then the third one is Advaitavad, where you feel that actually God is everywhere, and God is within you, outside you, and you are not there if God is not there. That is Advaitavad, that is non-duality. So all these different philosophies are accepted in Sanatana Dharma. In fact, Charvaka, they did not believe in God. They were kind of atheists nowadays, if we call them atheists. Even they were considered as people of faith because they believe in not believing God. So that they also were honored. They were also given space. They were not killed because they don't believe in God.
Okay, so up to this our discussion, Guruji, maybe everyone now have that kind of understanding that this Maisan temple is actually having the Hindu aspect on it, because we've been discussing and becoming more into Hindu. But if we look at the history of this temple, it was actually built by, yes, as what you mentioned, Bhadravarman, which was the king of Champa. So can you just say can we say that actually kingdom of Champa it is an Indianized kingdom, which is the kingdom of Champa people?
No, this Indianized, the word Indianized is also used by foreigners. We were not Indianized. There was no word India in those days. The word India came into popular usage during the British time. Before that, we were not even called India. In the days of Mughal period, we were called Hindustan. When we were invaded by the forces of Mughals, and before that, from so many other places, we were called Hindustan, from Sindhu. So, all these stories are made up stories to just create division. We are not Indianized, but we share the same roots. See, we were just discussing offline there. All of a sudden here in Vietnam, we find so many statues of Bodhidharma. Now Bodhidharma here is called Tatma, D-A-T-M-A. In China it's called Tamo. In Japan it's called what?
Dharma.
The Daruma. His real name was Bodhidharma. Now, this man seems to be very popular. And why in Vietnam? Because he belongs to the same family, Varman. And the kings of this place also, they belong to the same family, Varman. And Sri Vijaya also Varman. So you see the connection? So that's why it makes a lot of sense that people here, They have so many statues of Burman, of Buddha, but they don't know the story. You ask them, who is he? They know, Tatma,
Angry Buddhist. Angry Buddha.
angry Buddha. And then you ask them further, they come from India. True, he came as a prince, he came from India, yes. But according to me, he never came to Vietnam. He was in Srivijaya. But because this is all one family, one big family, huge family. So they must have heard from Srivijaya. They must have heard from their cousins in India, in South India. And so, yes, there has been interaction, but we are not Indianized. We have the same roots as.
Wow. It's actually making it clear, Guruji, because a lot of sources are just writing it as it is, that actually in making it that Cham was not part of Vietnam because it was invaded.
No, it's not true. Not true. If you read the ancient history from a different angle, from different sources, for instance, from Chinese sources, the Chinese travelers came here. And the Chinese travelers, they have certain information. If you see all that, Cham, Champa, it was the whole region, including Cambodia, including Laos. They were all same people. And yes, they have, as I said earlier, they have relatives in South India, they have relatives in Srivijaya, in Sumatra.
All right, Guruji. Maybe I would like to talk about the king, which was called as Bhadravarman, Guruji. Because when he was building this temple, he believed that this should be the pure place, and every time they got a new areas, they can win over, they try to make temples which is facing to the north, which is actually facing to Maisan temple. So when he built it, and when Maisan, he do mention to the successors of his that may I read it out, Guruji? Okay, so it was the plea from Bhadravarman to his successor: out of compassion for me, do not destroy what I have given. Drawing upon the doctrines of samsara and karma, he added, if you destroy, all your good deeds in your different births shall be mine, and all the bad deeds done by me shall be yours. If on the contrary you properly maintain the endowment, the merit shall belong to you alone. Bhadravarman's successor heard his plea with seems for my son become the religious hub of Champa for many generations. So do you still feel that it is actually like that, Guruji?
Yeah, this is the thing is we must see from so many different perspectives here, because Bhadravarman, he was trying to preserve the culture, not just the temple, but the culture, the civilization. And also in Sunda Vivitan, you find some very similar thing. If you destroy forest, the forest will destroy you. If you destroy the water beds, the water beds will destroy you. So respect nature, otherwise nature will destroy you. Similarly, if you keep to your civilization, you keep to your culture, you keep to your history, that will make you strong. Because you know your roots, you know where you stand. And if we forget our roots, anybody can just uproot us. Because we don't understand, like many people in this region, we don't even understand that we have such a beautiful history. We have a civilization when people in Europe were still killing each other elsewhere. They were not doing business. They were doing panjara and they were robbing people. That was kind of business. We were here in this region, we were exporting already spices, we were exporting so many things. We were business people, we did not rob people. So, if we do not understand that and we feel we look at the West as if, the West is all and all, I have got nothing against the West. The West has got something to contribute also. But we should not forget that we have our own culture also.
And for that, I think it concludes our discussion about Maisan Temple, Guruji, because then, as you mentioned, there is some generation or some part of the society who have to take care and have the task to get into back into what actually they are, where they are belongs to. But for that, I hope our friends can wait for the next video. Then thank you so much for watching. See you for the further discussion from this.
Thank you. Rahayu.
Rahayu.